Hey,
Hey,
hey.
hey up. How are we all?
Mate, we are good. Hello to everybody. Welcome to the ratings here on the Blue Abroad YouTube channel, or should I say, hello everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to the
Welcome
ratings
to the
show
ratings
here
show
on the
here on
Harry Oak
Harry
Farrell Abroad YouTube channel.
Harry Oak Farrell abroad. He's what we're going with.
It's going well. It's going well. But yeah, great to have everybody here. We're here to talk about Thursday night. Wait, am I echoing or am I tripping?
I can't hear an echo.
I feel like I'm echoing. Okay, I'm not echoing. Anyway, how are you, Pom?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. How are you?
There's an echo. Yeah, there's an echo. Hang on. Let me get to the bottom of this.
Da, 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 da. Who's
Echo
echoing?
connect-
Terry
I
or
don't know.
me?
Hello?
Well,
Can
whose
anybody?
voice can you hear twice? Yours or mine?
Yeah, who's echoing?
You fucking...
Terry. Okay, I'm the problem. I am the problem. I'm the problem. Why am I
Hi.
echoing? I don't
Anyway,
understand.
while Terry sorts that out, can I just give a shout out to a very special woman? Not many women in my life have given me as much joy. A stranger by the name of Chloe Kelly, the winning penalty, England Women's Euros. That's what I want to say. So, Chloe, if you ever come across this, it's not often that I give someone who's a Southerner and an Arsenal player any love, but I fucking love you, Chloe Kelly.
Catch me up. What did she do?
She scored the winning penalty for England to beat Spain in the Women's Euros. That's why we got this lot. God save the king. And Chloe Kelly.
Fair play. Well done, Chloe. Absolutely stunning representation.
Mate, ice in the fucking veins, mate.
That's the English blood. Is the echo issue fixed? Am I echoing for anybody?
I just generally think some of you fuckers are tripping, man. Like, genuinely.
You're just winding me up.
I don't care anymore. Not worthy of it.
Anyway, I think it's fixed. Hunter and Albert say it's fixed. Only Carlton says it's fixed. All right, cool. All right. Well, we're going to go over this game again. Great.
It was good.
It was good.
You are such a miserable twat, man. Honestly, this is starting to drag you down, innit?
I'm working on it, okay? I'm trying to find the joy. Hey, we're going to talk about Harry O'Farrell tonight, and I'm really excited about that. We're going to find little gems for the future.
Mate, I agree. And can I just give a shout out to Blue Bagger as well? Echo the Dolphin. What a fucking game that was on the Mega Drive. Ah, yes, lad. Ah, hook me up.
What was the premise of Echo the Dolphin?
So he was basically just a dolphin, and you used to have to like jump and like fucking get rings and bash into sea turtles. It's like, mate, it's quality. Like you just can't beat a bit of Echo the Dolphin, mate.
Sounds like
used to do his sonar blast, which I'm never going to do again.
Okay. We might make that the glaze sound.
I remember me and my brother used to fight over who played Echo the Dolphin.
Yeah. Wordy, listen, I understand. I get it. I had a really good conversation with Pommy about this other day, and maybe we can chat about it a little bit more at the 7 o'clock show. This is a real test of everything, because we all attach our happiness maybe a bit too much to the result. But I think
you sat with, baby. Tell you what, it was a bad game to watch, but my vibes were high with the boys. I tell you, my vibes were high. The only bad thing is I had to come home. But the good thing about being married is you're already winning, because you're coming home, to your lovely wife, so you're already winning. True. All right, so like, okay, everything ticked, man.
We're just going to have a bit of fun with it. That's what it's all about. because without a laugh, we'll be miserable more than what we already are.
To be fair, let's do it. Hey, I'm ready. Come on.
Let's go, man. All right. Are we starting? Oh, okay. Let's start. Hang on.
Glaze alarm. Glaze alarm. Glaze alarm. Much glaze. It's going to be like a 1988 Bukkake movie. That much glaze. Harry O'Farrell. What a man. Tell you what, one thing is abundant at the ground is just how hard this guy works. Like, this guy is built like a twig. But I tell you what, he's doing everything he can to get in front. One of the few joys, and you know what? This might sound like glaze, but maybe it is, but I don't mean to. But there was another guy down the other end who's an incredible intercept defender in the game in the name of James Sicily. Watching these two at the ground, it was similar methodologies, the way they run, the way they attack the ball, the way they disregard their opponent to get to the ball. Splendid game. And what I'm really enjoying about Harry as well, and this is as rare as hen's teeth, right? One of his 1%ers this week, but he's tackling his ground level work as well. He ain't scared to tackle someone, which many key defenders in the league don't do. So he is every way the new wave key defender. Long may it continue, because this was a nightmare for him. Incredible performance from the Hoff.
Yeah. You know what makes it even more, I guess, special to me? It was against a really good team. Like a really quality team, quality kicking team, quality decision-making team. And mindful of putting too much glaze on him, but we've really started at the very top. It's all downhill from here, but that's okay.
Nah, just glaze it. Like, so down. Oh, trust, it's an absolute fucking roller coaster from here. So, like,
true.
You want to get your vibes. For those watching later, just close this tab down now, mate. It gets worse, but good times.
Wordy, the one passage of play where he made the spoil, laid the tackle, and then on the ground ball, got the handball out. Yeah, and it comes when I think of him, and he's the last player interview that I've done, and it doesn't. I mean, I haven't really got a really good record with the players that I've interviewed and where they've ended up. Lately, that's been a good record, but he said something which always resonated and stuck with me when I said to him, "What do you want to imprint into the club?" And he said, "Just want to play for the emblem."
Well, he plays for the emblem. He does. I mean, honestly, real good word. But that was one noticeable takeout from at the ground, was just watching. I do like to do that, watch how other players in the same position work. Yeah. And you can see the only thing that the difference between James Sicily and Harry O'Farrell probably is how many hugs they got as a kid. Because James Sicily looks like he needs a hug. And two, he's probably about 5 kgs of muscle mass. But very similar the way they're selfless in their attack of the ball. So enjoyed that. Good game, Hoff.
Yep. 8.6 for Harry O'Farrell. That's a pretty solid game. Well done. All right. Then we get to what is Jacob? Jacob is now his elder, the wise elder. 200 games he plays.
Yeah, so we've done Luke Skywalker. Let's flip on over to Obi-Wan Kenobi, Jacob Weitering. An interesting game for Jacob. So didn't lose a one-on-one this week, which was good. Pressure acts was solid. This was where he got beaten. This is why I wanted to point out the tackles versus the not. Jacob did get lost, especially with Jack Gunston, because Jack Gunston plays that undersized role, even though he plays in that key position. And he was just never close enough. And that was the difference between Hoff and Weitering. He's quite comfortable playing very close or coming from miles away to do it. Strong intercepting, though, that we saw. Big issue this week was his disposal to turnover ratio wasn't as clean as we usually see. And it did get us into trouble at the time. Missed some key targets, and which came back with interest. As a defender, though, this is a very common Jacob Weitering game, but the bit that makes him a little bit in that elite category is that distribution. And this week didn't distribute it well, unfortunately.
Yeah. 6.3 in his 200th game. His first kick was the shank on the left out in the full, which really got me going. But that's okay. 200 games, 200 really, really solid games for the most part. So, how many do you think he'll play? If you had to guess,
322.
Wow, you reckon he'll be part? Yeah, no, I can definitely see him being part of the 300 club. Wow, 322.
You know us, we like to milk them like a salad. I don't know where that came from. cold and flu tablets really kicking in. Yeah, milked him like a salad.
Okay, well, 6.3 for Jacob. We'll talk about that later. Then we get to Ollie Hollands. Who asked you on the ground what position does he play? And you like wing, or like what position should he play? Who was that?
I can't remember.
Somebody asked you, what position is he playing? And you're like, halfback. And then I said to you, what position should he be playing? Wing?
Oh, was it J-Baggers?
It might have been J-Baggers, yeah.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Because that was at half time, wasn't it? So like I was like 5 beers deep then, so my sarcasm comes out.
Yeah.
Ollie. So I mean, this was an interesting one because Cowan did float a lot of people through the high half forward, almost flirting with the wing. It was good to see that they got rid of the Fogarty on the wing. That only lasted a week, so that shows a bit of improvement from the coaches because genuinely they do that 4 or 5 games. And then drop them and go, that was a bad idea, wasn't it? They did this 1 week, so that was good. With Ollie, though, real interesting because it's a lot of work for little reward with Ollie. So when you're running 15, 16 kilometers a game, that's good. That shows effort, intensity. Also needs to be noted that's what Ollie's good at, right? So, do you know what I mean? Like any idiot can do that. It's like thanking the postman for delivering your post. It's his job, as Roy Keane would say. This is where I want you to use that. So this is a real noticeable thing. Watching the games this week, watching Carlton at the ground, watching Carlton versus Hawks. Because Carlton condense, literally when you run over 10 kilometers for this football club, you are effectively doing cardio. Like, in this system, we might as well slap a number like 1556 and just get like a clipboard going around saying we'll do $1 each for every kilometer and donate it to a different charity because he ain't getting football doing that. And that's what's heartbreaking because he works the channel so hard, half forward, back to half back, and it's not being kicked out. It's not being kicked to him. It's not being used. So thankless role, but a typical Ollie game. He'll pressure, he'll badger, he'll go mental.
Yeah. Typical Ollie effort. He's battling all year.
Debbie, there is no cap on the AFL rating. Effectively, you could be whatever you want to be.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, the AFL rating. Yeah. Yeah.
There is a cap on this. It's 10. But because, I mean, like, how can you judge something if there's no end?
True. I was going to suggest, or not suggest, I was going to say, like, could you see yourself opening this up to away from 10 and just going all the way?
Well, I mean, we could do it triple figures if you want. Don't care,
I mean,
really.
I like
going to find those.
I
think having a start and an end. I mean, it's like trying to understand the complexities of the solar system, isn't it? And space. It's constantly expanding. So if you comprehend it today, tomorrow it's even bigger than it was when you comprehended it. So you've got to have an end for you to actually grasp what it means, I think.
That is definitely the same principle with Carlton. Just when you think you figured it out, it continues to expand the problem. Yeah. Or maybe we're focusing too much on the problem, and that's why the problem's growing. Anyway.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, well, anyway.
Carlton in the big band. So
anyway,
solid 5.
Yep. Well done to Ollie Hollands, 5. Then we get to Adam Saad. What is happening here?
Yeah. So you can see what Carlton are doing, and it's really noticeable when you watch us and any team in the top 12 outside of Carlton is we really condense that midfield area, which it has so many knock-on effects. It means you've got no loose targets. It means you've got to go at like 100% kicking efficiency. But we do press our halfbacks up, which is a real good thing. Genuinely, If you look at the heat maps of GWS this weekend, who were absolutely immaculate from halfback, probably one of the best halfback games I've ever seen a football side play. This is their starting position. The problem is when you're here, we should be seeing lots of score involvements, lots of score launches. Everything looks gravy, and it's not. And unfortunately for Saad, I don't know if it's his age, because he's not old. I mean, players now are playing till they're 38, 40 in all world sports. People are getting older. It's no longer like a cutoff as it used to be. It's not really getting the just rewards. And when I start to look at Carlton only having 4 goals from turnover defensive half, and they've got a weapon like this, it worries me. And defensively, he got really, really exposed. And when he's playing that high up, it leaves space in behind him. And that space in behind him was exploited by players like Ginny, Watson, players like that. They really exploited that, especially on the overlap. So that's something that we kind of got a grasp at the minute. We kind of want a Chico role, but instead we're getting a salad role.
16.9 AFL rating is pretty solid, right?
Yeah, so the AFL rating is heavily favoured. So things like score launches, score involvement. So that's huge. But as I always say, I like my defenders to defend as well. And the problem is, he's Saad playing this role. He's only got 2 options: the contest down the left, or a contest and cluster in the middle. So it's fascinating.
Yeah, he's an interesting one because he's just turned 31 last week. He turned 31. I've said this before. Like, do you think he's like towards the end of his career, or do you think he's still got 2, 3, 4 seasons? I think he keeps himself in pretty good shape to play for 4 more potentially, but he's just not inspired at the moment.
Honest opinion, just stop being cute. Like pull your head out of your own self-importance. There's a reason that everyone is going spread width off halfback. Like, contest is dead. So, like, at the minute, Carlton are chipping the same thing over and over again, just hoping we're going to be right. We're going to be right. But unfortunately, we are wrong. Hopelessly wrong. And I just feel that you pick Saad, Carroll, or Cowan. You pick one of them. You don't pick 5 of them.
Right.
Because what's the point of having nippy halfbacks if they're just going to go into a contested situation? It's foolish. Well, and you've only got to watch, like, I mean, you wouldn't even have to watch a full game. Just watch a quarter of Adelaide, quarter of the Pies, quarter of anyone. And you'll be like, oh, they work a little bit different to us. That looks fun.
I'm just not sure. There's a cloud over Saadi. I don't know. I'm not sure.
But I mean, anyway, if you're playing 3 players in the same position, because we're going to say 3 players played this role in spurts, you can't have the second role of Adam Saad as a lockdown defender. I mean, it's like putting fucking a bottle of Evian on an electrical fire.
Yeah. Well, 5.6 for Saadi. Then we move into Nick Haynes.
Yeah, so Nick Haynes, that hot zone. So Hawthorn, as I like to call them, the master of angles. Hawthorn love a change of angle. That's why they really spread them marks inside 50. They really pull your zones. They really stretch your zones. And Haynes was in that traffic. That was Nick Haynes' job. And some things that really are confusing to me. So when you look at some of our players, you look at the meters to gain column. Some of them were way below average, and then you suddenly see Nick Haynes. You're like, "Oh, hang about. This makes sense. He's got some." So discombobulated because so many intercept possessions, but then just a handful of score involvements and scoring chains started. If you're getting that many intercept possessions, they've got to turn into scores. And this is the big area for me. I know people like to say small forward is rubbish, midfield is rubbish, and that I agree with. A big part of that, though, will change overnight if your halfback line moves the ball incredibly quick, creates outnumbers, it creates overlap run, it creates easy targets inside 50. It's why they scored 60 points off turnover, because when they got the ball, they were twice as efficient at getting the ball from the back half of the ground inside 50 as us. So this is an area here. Nick Haynes has got to hit that target quick. Got to hit that target. And it's so easy, like so easy when you watch it. And he was quite guilty of slowing the play down, slowing it down. And
how much is that? Do you think on the ball, the guy with the ball, and how much do you balance that discussion around play with ball in hand being slow with it and options further afield being stagnant?
Well, I mean, you saw it at the ground, Terry, as clear as day, didn't you? Carlton set up with like 18 guys in that centre, in that big square on the middle of his heat map. That is where 95% of our players are. So his options aren't aplenty. Carlton work really hard for little reward. Like, it's scary because when I look at like the running charts, Will Day will run 15 kilometres and be in space all the time. Cowan are running 15 kilometres, avoiding each other. They're not actually intuitive running. It's just running for the sake. So I think that would help Nick Haynes out. But yeah, I mean, this is where the game plan ain't helping. But I mean, you've been trusted to do a role. I'm going to have to defend you. I'm going to have to criticise you for not doing the role. So Michael Voss expects you to thread the eye of a needle through 8 players. You've got to fucking do it. It's your job.
Yeah. 5.4 for Nick Haynes. Then we move along and we get to the youngster, another one here in Lachie Cowan. He's really evolved this role over the last month, or the month that he's been back in the team.
So this was the game I really, really enjoyed. And if you watch the selection table, me and Cracker have had this back and forth for a long time about Lachie Cowan. Right. So the new obsession at the minute is a medium tall size winger.
Right.
Right. Which is fantastic. And Lachie Cowan got to play that role in the third. And this is why his heat map's a little bit discombobulated. And this kind of excites me because we want this guy to have the ball a little bit more. And I think it's a huge upgrade on Blake Acres because for 2 reasons. 1, I think he's better aerially. 2, I think he's one of the few players that can launch very early. Where if you watch Blake Acres, his kick, when he gets it on the wing, it like just makes it to 60. When this guy boots it, he can get it in. And there was a couple of inside 50 entries this week, which hit the pocket from like halfway. He's got a big kick on him. So that kind of excited me. That's something moving forward next year. This is something that I want to see. Carlton have got an obsession with buying halfbacks and wingers. So we might as well start using one. So incredible that. I really enjoyed that. Defensively, again, see what I said about Nick Haynes, see what I said about Adam Saad. At the minute, you're playing like 3 of the same players and then trying to just find them to have a little bit of a turn playing. It reminds me of like, I don't know if anyone's ever coached under 6 soccer here, but there's like this rule that you've got to get everyone a chance to play striker. Everyone has a chance to play midfield. And I'm like, fuck that. I want to win games. It felt like that with Carlton. Like everyone gets a chance to be the running halfback. Just pick one. But that was promising that from Cowan. I like that long term.
So with Doc now gone, is this a guy that you think will be the biggest beneficiary in those minutes? Yeah,
mate. Sam Docherty 2.0, maybe. I'm a big, you know me, I'm a big advocate of Cow. I think you could put Lachie Cowan half forward pocket, full forward. He'd work out a way. That's the beautiful thing about him. He's a grafter. I liked it as well. And you know what was nice as well when he was working, because he was working our wing, Terry. There was a passage of play. It was in the third when we moved Doc forward because we needed the goal. We needed the Doc goal, obviously, for the vibes.
Yeah.
And he got the ball and he's literally doing that. Like he's literally saying to them, why are you coming 10 meters from me? I can kick it miles, bro. Get up.
Yeah.
And I like that. Dictate the play a bit.
Well done. Well done to the young man, Lachie Cowan, who, just a reminder, 19 years of age, 34 games. It's just ticking along nicely now. On to another one, youngster. This is Matt Carroll, who was coming off an excellent game last week.
Yeah, Matt Carroll. This is probably the area of development for Matt Carroll, because I felt like at times the Wizard, players like that, had a little bit of had a good day against him. And that's something that he's going to have to learn. And I'm not going to criticize him too much because it's an aggressive play. And that's what worries me about this football club. We have an incredible amount of players that are naturally aggressive that are now turning 24, 25, and we're starting to see that die from their game.
The
And then we've
doubt.
got the guys under it who are like, nah, this is what I do, baby. And I hope we hone on that. And he's one of them because it's the aggressive play, and you are going to get dicked. At times, you're going to get dicked. Connor McDonald and Dylan Moore particularly enjoyed it when they flirt. They do that incredible running where they kind of almost run you into death. But they were targeting him at half forward. But I like it. I like it because I think it's easy to unaggress someone if they're aggressive. It's easy to bring them back than teach it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I like where he's going. Yeah, it's going to be up and down for the next little bit of time.
But if you know what I'm saying, he's very attacking, and I think it's easy to rein that in as opposed to teach someone to be it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, fair. So he got a 5 for his game. Then we got to George Hewett, smack bang in the middle now. This looks healthier and more balanced.
Yeah, so one of the big things we're seeing from the Blues at the minute is they're really trying to, it's probably the biggest rotation we've seen this year. They're trying to work out who plays what role in the midfield. And I do feel like over the last 5 weeks, Voss has seen, oh, fuck, I've got the same midfielder, slightly different, but they're the same bloke. And it's fascinating how we handle that. So since Collingwood, you've seen a massive increase in Cripps's I'm the daddy of this midfield role. And Hewett's kind of now playing this almost attacking fluid role. So if we go through this week of players that have had similar midfield metrics, you're looking at Lachie Neale, you're looking at Sheasel, you're looking at Dacos. These are the players that they're giving the ball to. And no offense to Hewett, that's not him. But he's doing it amiably. And what you're seeing is George Hewett numbers. He's good at defending. He's good at tackling. He's good at that kind of thing. But he hasn't got that je ne sais quoi in the forward half of the ground. So this is going to be a fascinating one moving forward. This is one there I'd love to sit Nick Austin, Agresta, Voss and Hansen down in a room and go, it was obviously a choice all year between Kennedy and Hewett. And last year we saw Kennedy was back pocket, half forward, half back. Hewett was preferred. Then he had that one game where he dropped Hewett. Kennedy played that role and it was an okay role, but Hewett came straight back in. This is the one that I'd say that where Kennedy, I don't think is defensively sound. Hewett is. I'd love to know what that conversation was because suddenly now they're saying, need someone to work through mid-forward. Whoops. And unfortunately, Hewett can do it to a level, but the names we've just listed who play this role are your, wow players. And no offense to George Hewett, but I wouldn't pay $55 a ticket to see him.
Yeah.
I'd pay $55 to see him handball to someone who is $55 worth.
Okay. Interesting. 5.8 for George. Then there's Cerra. Oh, before we move on to Cerra, did you notice George looked like Adam Cerra on Thursday night?
Is this a hair thing?
It is, but did anybody else mistaken it as well who was at the game? Like he literally had an Adam Cerra head. He had the fresh fade going. It was anyway.
I noticed the haircut, but yeah. It's the arms you can tell. I always think because Adam Cerra looks like you've pulled your arms off your little brother's Action Man and stuck some others on it.
What about Adam Cerra's game? What happened here?
Yeah, this is one here. So no hit outs gathered is always a worry. No receives from there. He had the shot, which, bully for him. That's good. We like that. This is the one this one really hurts me, and it's not a knock on Adam Cerra because he didn't ask to be recruited, but this here for me is the area where I'm thinking, I reckon Adam Saad and Adam Cerra are the two players that if you're looking at our predicament in a list makeup, that's why always be wary of who you buy. because you can draft these players quite easy.
These types.
And with Cerra, I don't know what's wrong with him. Yes, he's consistent. I saw someone the other day say, "Oh, people are bagging Adam Cerra, but he's been our most consistent mid." I'm like, yeah, that's the fucking problem. It's been mid and he's been consistent at it. This is where I want to see Adam really do something. There was so many times he got the ball out the back of a pack, and I'm like, come on, dictate the play. And he goes sideways, he goes backwards. This is either, he's probably system, because I know he's capable of it. I've seen Fremantle games where he's done it. I need to see more from him, because
it's the attacking mindset.
I couldn't think of a better job to be that midfielder when Cripps and Hewett are protecting you. Sometimes pitting it. So it's like, imagine a quarterback. You've got 3 giant linebackers who no one in the world can get to. So you've probably got 10 minutes in the slot to lob your ball. That's what he's got. And it just feels like he's got to utilize that.
It's like they're playing like Sam Walsh is out there and they've forgotten that he's not. And it's like, someone's got to go and do that.
Yeah, it'd be fascinating to see, because part of me kind of wanted Walsh there, because I feel like one thing that Walsh is guilty of is he likes to fling it on the boot and batter the bastard forward.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind seeing that once in a while. Get it moving forward. I feel like it's either he's been too precise or too cute.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, 5.9 for Ches.
It's too cute.
He's been able to find the touchwood. Has he played every game this year? I reckon he has.
I can't remember a time that he's been dropped. So
yeah, I reckon
unless he was injured or suspended, I don't think he has been either.
I reckon he's played every game. He's played 19 games this year. He's found the big thing about him was, can he get his body right for the year? So he's ticked that box so far with 4 more games to go. Now it's just a matter of just impacting more.
I agree. It's just got to use your ball. Got to use it, mate.
5.9 for Ches, and then we get to Patrick Cripps. Did you see the footage before the game started?
Which?
We're in the huddle. And he's like, let's not let this man down. Let's come out there.
The mic'd up thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, not my bag. I can't stand the mic'd up.
Yeah. Anyway, 10.7 AFL rating. His heat map's becoming old Cripps.
Yeah, and I think this is probably where, like, we complimented him a lot last year and we complimented him a bit this year. This is what I like Cripps doing, being the provider, being the giver of the midfield. And I think that's really important, because Cowan are playing almost 3 types of this role where everyone else plays one. Some teams play none at all. But this was just that providing role. A lot of he really works well with Mark Pitternet. He really seems to read that Mark Pitternet tap pretty well. This is where, again, we're seeing the issue with Adam Saad and co. When you've got too many people who are good at the same thing, it's hard to stand out. And this one, for me, was just a standard Cripps game. But it would be so nice to see that midfield built in a modern-day way. Cripps on his own, a young Jagger, another young player, an ambitious Walsh, having them kind of non-defensive players. So I'm excited for the future with it.
6.4 for the skipper. Then we get to Zach Williams.
Bit like last week, this is one of them, like, if-only games with Zach. And you can see that, especially Hewett, Cerra, are not used to playing with a guy that doesn't want to defend. He wants to get the game on the front foot. And there's a lot of selfless line breaks that he does. Real strong, though. I mean, what's fascinating with him is a guy that's played so loose and then rested across half forward. To have such a large contested possession volume says everything about our football team at the minute. And like I said last week, want to see double the handball receives. I want to see that, because he makes that run and it's constantly ignored. But he's doing what he does. Mopped up around stoppage quite well, but yeah, this is something where I'd love the midfield coaches to try and have a look at it.
Question: what was the percentage of midfield time this week?
That's not the spreadsheet. No one cares about that, Pom. Where are we? Round 21 because the AFL cheated, didn't they? And we had round 0. Okay. Z will. Okay, so the time breakdown this week was 33.3% recurring.
That was a little uptick from last week. I reckon he was at 25 or 30 last week. Is that the formula for him? I like the idea of him being in there more because for me, he's the only one that plays with that instinct when he gets the ball.
Yeah. Genuinely, if I was the coach, I would like to see this week no George Hewett. Give him George Hewett's time.
Oh yeah.
Give Hewett a rest and say, look, mate, moving forward, we've got you for a year. Show me what you're capable of, big lad. Because the one thing that I'll give Jagger, so a lot of people have really convoluted Jagger as a footballer and what he does. One thing Jagger is impeccable at is that Adam Cerra role. He dictates traffic. He's like the conductor in the midfield. Jagger would find this guy 9 out of 10 possessions, would look for that run because that's what he specializes in. So really would like to see that.
Okay. 5.5 for Zach. Then we get to Blake Acres, who came into the side after a week rest. Played on that wing behind. It looks like he played behind Lachie Cowan.
Yeah, it's a fascinating one with Blake Acres because I still don't understand what we gain from this. So the things with Blake is he gets a lot of these marks, and then you look at like tall wingers that get a lot of marks. Mason Wood is one when he does play the wing. At the minute, they've had to put him in the forward line due to injury, but you don't really like when you watch Mason Wood. He's a conduit. If you watch my boy in the South Australian team in the under-18s this year, a guy that a video's coming out later on this week about how I think his ACL is a blessing in disguise because someone's going to get a bargain. But having that marking ability means that you can be on. You can be the surprise from a kick in. You can go that long way, and he's one out on his own. Be that link man. I don't see Blake Acres. I've never really seen it with Blake. That link work. I think what Blake Acres is incredible at is his endurance is so good that he does end up finding himself in them uncanny positions. Hence the goal against Melbourne. A lot of people talk about the surgery and stuff like that and saying, "Oh, that affects it," but it doesn't affect. We haven't seen any noticeable effect on output. What we are seeing at the minute with Blake Acres is this is just probably what we saw at Fremantle, what we saw at St Kilda. It's a stopgap. It's a level. And this role has to be so important, especially if you're not naturally width. If you don't have natural width, this is what you've got to start using. And I don't think he does it. And he's one of the worst. And at the ground, it is really noticeable. He loses his width to try and help, which is why you saw Cowan so high up the ground. He slots into that hole. He feels it.
Yeah, one of many who marks the ball and stops and slows. Unless that was part of just the instruction. I'm not sure where he's at this year. I mean, he did have back surgery. I know that that's definitely impacted him, but where is he placed in the context of the future, do you think?
Easiest position in football, really. You've only got to have one thing, endurance. But, I mean, look at every other club. Wingers debut quite early. Yeah. I don't think it's something that you move forward with. I don't think he has the natural attacking instinct, in my opinion. I want to see more attack.
Yeah. 5.1. It's been a rough year. Sam Docherty. It's fun. This will be the final. This will be the last time we talk about Sam Docherty on a rating show.
Yeah, it's going to be quite sad, isn't it? I mean, I want to know who the next person is every week we're going to drop and why is he there. But yeah, Sam Docherty, I mean, interesting game. He played just about every role on the ground. It was a proper farewell tour for Sam Docherty. It was a great moment. He took his goal. Ironically, his best disposal to turnover ratio for 5 years.
His what?
His best disposal to turnover ratio was incredibly used the ball pretty well this week. You go and save the best to last.
You know, it was his goal was great. For a moment, I was ready to believe that we could win the game when he lined up for his second. I thought this will get me going, and he just missed it. But yeah, it was a solid send-off game.
Yeah, it was. I mean, look, he was in everything. You could see he was really keen. The way he got that goal, did I like Carlton moving him forward in the third? Part of me doesn't. I understand the sentiment. You know, I'm not a very sentimental human being.
Yeah,
I'd rather go for the win. I mean, I'm sure if you asked Doc, what would you rather do, win or kick a snag? Why not both? He might have replied. But you know what? He wherever he went, you noticed him. He worked hard. Well done, mate, and enjoy retirement. I hope it's incredibly breeze-free for him.
So he's not playing next week. Who's the first cab off the rank?
To replace him?
Yeah, for next week.
I'd like to see a little bit of LC, Lucas Camporelli. But I mean, I know that's going to be Francis Evans next week, so I don't even care.
Isn't he in concussion? Or it might be done by then. Okay.
That'll be done by then. Just in time. Just in time, mate. Franny, I'm going to be gutted. I won't be able to sit on the wing as he's running up there singing, "Oh, Franny. Super Franny Evans."
So you got Lucas Camporelli, you got Binns, you've got Francis Evans, or you've got Billy Wilson, I think, as your options for this spot.
I'm glad you've gone through the options. It's Francis Evans, but I mean,
all right.
Name as many players as you want.
7.6 in Doc's last game. There you go. Then we get along to Cooper Lord, who was the sub from memory. Yeah, he was. He was the sub.
The substitute, Mr.
Oh, this is the guy that comes in to play the Doc role.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, one thing I'll give Cooper is if you told me last year he was going to be playing on the wing for Cowan, I would have probably said, is David Teague back? Is he back? Is he? He tried the Setterfield for ages on the wing. Is he back? And if you said, no, he's not, Pom, I'd be like, oh, no. But, you know, one credit to him. A lot can be said sometimes about just playing your role. And I really like that in players. And one thing with Cooper is you can see that there's certain areas of his game that he's not quite adapt at yet. But he works really hard up that wing. In the fourth quarter, going up against Massimo D'Ambrosia, who slingshots really hard from half-back, is really hard to deal with. And I thought he kept up with him, which is a tough gig. Yeah, I'd love to see him just get a full-time game, man. Like a full-time game where you want to be. Where you want him to be. Like,
surely that's now the next 4 games. Like, that's it. There's no need for him to be the sub anymore.
You say that. But
every time I say surely, something else happens. So anyway,
I'd like to see it.
We're starting to move into the forwards slowly but surely. Before we get there, we've got Pito, who doesn't have his standard heat map here. What's the story?
Yeah, so Carlton this week, for the first time in a long time, played genuinely 2 ruckmen doing it half and half. Make as it as you will. And one of the big takeouts from me for this was actually seeing Mark Pitternet move.
Move around the ground. Who would have thought? He's developing.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, it's good to hear because you hear the club likes to sex that up a bit, don't they? Oh, he's tearing up pre-season. And I do remember this year, everyone was saying, oh, Pitternet's come back fitter than ever. And I'm like, it's not really that hard though, is it? But thanks. But impressive. He does work. And Pitternet is what Pitternet is. I feel like sometimes in sport, particularly in AFL, because you don't really hear it much in other sports, that sometimes 90% of players are just role players and it's the 10% that are elite. But AFL has this obsession with, but Matt Pitternet's not Max Gawn, is he? And it's like, well, yeah, there's about 4 ruckmen who can look at Max Gawn in the eyes. The rest are bang average. Yeah, do you know what I mean? The rest are bang average. He just plays within himself. I like the fact he gets the ball quite a bit in a contested situation, which then makes me wonder why we play so many contested mids. But, you know, he keeps doing what he does, and his limitations are his limitations, and that's not skill level, that's physicality. That's like his body. Like, he didn't ask to be 200 centimetres, 100 kegs of solid French steel, did he? But he is, and he uses it pretty well.
If I was to ask you who's one player you'd want to have a beer with, who would you say?
If one player who what, sorry?
You would want to have a beer with. Who would you say?
Because I've seen Mark Pitternet half cut and he told some real X-rated stories. Yeah, Mark Pitternet. I reckon Mark Pitternet all day.
I was asked recently. Yeah, I agree. I was asked recently. I said Mark Pitternet.
Nah, all day long.
Got the chat. He's good crack.
I reckon it's loose.
Yeah. Got a 4.1 though. So there's that.
He struggled, but I mean, this is what happens when you split your rucks right down the middle.
Speaking of, De Koning, what did this say?
Yeah, so every week I'm starting to take it personally. And I feel like Voss is now just on a mission to wind me up on this show because he's taken the halfbacks and played 4 of them, and all 4 of them share a role. And today, he just was like, you know what? Let's just make the rucks actually be 50% each. This will proper get the bro wound up. And yeah, it did. And fascinating with Tom De Koning in this one that if you are playing that behind the ball, not ghosting forward role, you're struggling. You're struggling. And he did struggle this week. Really, really did struggle.
Yeah. Only 4 more games with him, you would think. Is there any chance he's not going?
I've got hairy balls, not crystal, mate. 1.8. 1.8. Why would you genuinely like? I can remove the emotion from it. If I was his age, 1.8 million. I'd leg it, mate. I'd leg it. Of course I would. Do you know what I mean? I'd play for anyone for 1.8k.
True. 3.9. All right. Will White. This was actually a pleasing effort and performance.
Hey, well, I mean, Will White gets a lot of chat from our group, doesn't he? Hey, do you know what I mean? We've talked about Will White a lot in the 2 times we've sat together. He's become a little bit of a folk hero between us because we have a little bit of a beers. We have beer chat and Will White comes up on it. And I would like to say I'm taking full credit for Will White's game this week because I've got a little bit of banter with me and Leck about a tweet that I sent him once about Will White. We bully Ian for a tweet he sent about Cerra. But Will White, yeah, he's kicking ass, isn't he? And you know what I really enjoyed about Will White? And we said this about last week. Just give him a fucking role. Like, stop looking at Will White and going, oh, he's fairly nippy and he's game. Just actually say to him, just, mate, you keep doing that, but this is your job for the next XYZ. And he did it. And the crumbs, oh my God, we're in the 3 crumb category, Tez.
Can you believe it?
A small forward that sees a ball on ground and doesn't treat it like a hand grenade.
Just gets the thing moving. Has
Mate,
active instinct.
And you know what, right? Where is he? Is Will White ever going to be in the top 50 small forwards in the league? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I'll tell you what he can do. He can be very, 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 very accomplished. Better than the average bear. And I really enjoyed that. And it's quite exciting. I'll just read this out to you. With his game this week.
Yeah.
He is the only small forward, believe it or not, who plays small forward, that is ranked in Carlton's top 10 for crumbing.
Really?
Average per game, Matt Cottrell, number 1. Sam Walsh. Orazio, we can loosely say he's a small forward, but he's not really, is he, anymore? Blake Akers, Lucas Camporelli, George Hewett. George Hewitton. Adam Cerra, Elijah Hollands, and then Will White.
Oh, dear. Dear, oh me. Wow, we got some full action in the live chat. Imagine like creating multiple burner accounts just to fucking have a go. 7 for Will White. Well done, young man. Corey Durdin next. I thought both he and Will White needed to respond from their games last week, and I think for the most part they both did.
It's probably because you're playing 5 figures to sponsor him. I think that. Dear. I'm only joking.
There were 2s and 3s last week here.
I'm only joking. Tell you what, Corey, if you're watching, I love you. I'm only joking. Look, I mean, this is the 3 things that get me about our small forwards. When people criticize them, and rightly so, because their output, let's be honest, absolutely bobbins. It is bobbins. We've got to be honest with that. But I've never seen small forwards like start in the forward pocket and then we lose the ball and then suddenly they're in the back pocket and I'm like, what? So he works really hard at that. And you can see here he got caught in transition quite a lot. But yeah, this is where I can't help think, in my heart of hearts, I can't help feel if Carlton moved the ball. This is what's hard. I think being a list manager at Carlton would be really hard right now. If I was given the keys to Agresta and Austin's job, my first question is, who the fuck's coaching me next year?
Yeah.
And if they said it's Voss, I'd be like, right, okay, let's trade Motlop or Durdin and let's bring in another medium-sized player. If they said to me, no, Pom, it's going to be Skipworth or it's going to be another young coach, I'd be on the blower to them and go, how do you like the ball moved? Because maybe they'll work. Maybe they'll work. Because I don't think we've actually seen in the last 2 years a normal small. Now, if you go on West Coast channels, they're lambasting the fact that Matt always doesn't become a small forward and he plays like he's a tall, right? Which is interesting because they want a small forward to stay at home and that's not his natural gift. So it's really fascinating what to do with it because part of it is Corey Durdin, but I can't make an informed judgment of if that ball moved in on a slingshot and he was at the feet of Mackay and it was a 1-on-2 and he was the second, he might get a few goals. So it's hard to say, Terry. Yeah. But playing this role, no fucking chance.
No. Well, he got a 5.3 for his game. Then we got to Jesse.
Can we just take a moment to finally dispel it? Jesse Motlop is copying, and look, I like a rant as well, but Jesse Motlop here finally has a heat map that emphasizes what he does on a daily basis. I can't think of a worst role in football, and I've watched these games this week because we've started stupidly doing reviews of other games. So I've had to start watching a real lot of football a lot more intently than I usually do.
Yeah.
This doesn't exist, Terry, in the world of sport.
What? Yeah.
Like, this is the Omega role. Like, and you can see it's a deliberate role. It's like a deliberate role that he is taught to kind of follow the ball, but not follow the ball, but kind of be there, but kind of not. it's almost like we're trying to make him Pickett and Rankine, but not Pickett and Rankine. And I want to give a shout out to my boy Equality. We had a good chat in the comments last week when I said there's SPS. So I just want to repeat that statement. I'm not saying he's going to turn into SPS and he's lazy and he's not going to do it. What worries me is this here is teaching him roles that are absolutely fucking irrelevant to what he is and not allowing him to shine. And more for him, he's doing the role. But yeah, Terry, look, a small forwards heat map. I've never seen anything like it. Look, like that looks like, do you know what I mean? It's like you've gone on the deep web and you've seen a cum tribute on parchment paper. Like, what is that, man? Like, I love Jesse.
You know, when he got caught in the first quarter, I think it was by Josh Ward. It literally just captures the whole story. He has such instinct in the way that he plays, and he has such evasiveness in the way that he plays, and he second guessed everything he was doing in that moment. And all you need is a split second where you're thinking way too much. I do feel for him. I do feel for the way he's being coached.
This one really shits me a little bit because, like, fair play, he's doing it. And you can see the AFL rating likes it because he's linking up and he's impacting a little bit. Right? He's linking up and impacting a little bit. But, yeah, help a brother out, man.
It's tough, man.
It's not his. And you know what's scary is I was chatting to a good mate of mine this week about it. And it was when I was doing a bit of research for a North Melbourne video. And I said, Carlton and North, when I watch some of their kids like this, I don't fucking recognize them as a kid anymore. Like, yeah. I watch them and I'm like, is that really him now?
Yeah.
And it worries me because you're coaching all the things that got them there. There's a reason they're at the level to get there. They stood out for something, but they don't. And great point by Winner. He makes the joke about the wheelchair. It's that's kind of Carlton's ball movement. That's how they get the ball moving. They flood the midfield, and that's kind of what they do. Like I feel for him, genuinely feel for him.
Man, I love the kid. Hope he gets through with it. I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted out.
He's one of them players that does worry me because I know people are off Jesse Motlop.
Yeah,
I know they are, and quite rightly so. His output hasn't been amazeballs. I'm not going to lie for it. I just think there is a bit of potential there, and I do see a bit of Matt Kennedy in it. That be careful what you wish for, because if he played for Adelaide or Port, I could see this guy staying at home and being a 40 goal a year, and us being in this situation again next year, going, fuck, I wish we had a small forward. And he's been, it's a weird one for me. I don't like it, Terry.
Yeah. 5.6 for Jesse. Then we get to Lachie Fogarty. What was the story here?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this. Lachie Fogarty is like the beneficiary of a system that doesn't really value small forwards. And you can tell he doesn't value small forwards. And like Fogarty just kind of running around, being the mark. Yeah, it just doesn't really impact. And the ball doesn't get in there enough for him. And you can see the one thing that was noticeable is he had a week playing the wing because he genuinely looked confused. Like he genuinely, it was almost like it took a quarter for him to go, oh, fuck, forward 50. But yeah, this is where you run the risk of buying other clubs and trying to be a genius and thinking that buying someone else's cast off is good. I feel like Lachie Fogarty is that guy that I wish was our next small forward in the VFL right now, knocking the door down. And the other guys were performing and he was the pressure. Because I just feel, he's low end. And at times he's like meant to be the primary small forward. It's genuinely concerning.
Thing with Fog, there was a period of time not long ago where it was clicking with him He was the barometer for a certain period of time there. And even when he got hurt, start of 2024, remember the collision with Nat Fyfe? Like, we missed him. And pretty much since the team's fallen downhill, he seems to have as well. Like, I don't think he's useless. I think he's useful. He's part of what the story of Carlton is right now with the form dip. Like, but he was viewed in such a different light not long ago.
100%. And why? Because he works hard, isn't it? It's the effort. It's the secret Carlton have created. Like, I want to say, don't take this out of context, but if you watch Collingwood, you watch Brisbane, you watch GWS, they don't work as hard as Carlton footballers. I'm not saying that they're lazy. What I mean is, you noticeably see how hard they're working to get to positions, get to it. You watch GWS this week and go and watch the second quarter, right? When people go on about Carlton kicking efficiency, they're kicking to 2-on-1s in their favour because they spread. They don't move very much. It's almost like watching netball when you watch a good transition side. That if you ever play netball, but you're only allowed to move into certain areas dependent on what position you play. So that's how they kind of do. It's like they run to a certain point. They're like, okay, it's not my area. This guy's coming up. So there's always that spread. There's always that intuitiveness. That's probably why Fogarty probably isn't as working as hard as he was last year. And because he worked incredibly hard last year, he managed to have the energy to get there, get back, and make something happen. A system makes you not have to work as hard when things are going good and when things are going bad. And that's a fascinating thing with Carlton. At the minute, I think there's a little bit of mentality has gone, a little bit of can be fucked has gone, which then you're really seeing the system exposed because he was kind of held together through will and determination as opposed to intelligence. So the best way I could describe Carlton's system in transition, where you score 70% of your points this year in the AFL from the top 8 teams, is it's basically like one day, if we got a monkey every morning to play chess versus a grandmaster, after enough days, one day maybe that monkey will win. The law of averages. Eventually, that monkey will win. If there's enough time passes, it'll win. And that's kind of Carlton's system. It's kind of like held together by that just one day where everything turns in. Everyone turns on. You're just not allowed to do it, though.
I just remember him having the score involvements, link in the chain, statistics, and we were talking about just needs to add some more goals to his repertoire. And then, like, he's a really polished player. I thought, and it wasn't just based off a month of footy. It was a good chunk of footy where he started coming out the other end, got on top of his body, and I don't know. It's just tough. 4.5 though.
I hear what you're saying, Tez. Mate, look, I'm with you all day long. I mean, the issue is, though, a lot's changed since then. I mean,
of course,
Carlton were taking the pina colada on moving the ball from one end of the ground to the other. Like, now we're not.
Yeah.
Like, all them numbers have dramatically changed for Carlton.
Yeah. 4.5. Let's move along. We get to Ashton, young fella. Another one.
So back to my list management conversation. This is one that I would be genuinely thinking hard about. If I was in Austin's shoes right now, if they said to me, Dan, we're going to sack the assistant coaches, we're going to bring some new ones in, Voss is staying in the game plan, I'd be like, right, I need to find another one of this guy. Right? I'll sacrifice the small, and you know what? We'll try and maybe do what Adelaide have done. And that's kind of what Adelaide have done. They've kind of built their entire system about one small, Neil Bullen working high up the ground, players like that, and have 3 tall targets, and then an awkward one. That would be it. If it was someone else, this guy could be brilliant. And I love Ashton. I thought he did really well at times. Cowan's ball movement inside 50 is so bad, it kind of helped him out at times. And what I liked, just want you to notice that, one of only 2 forwards who had crumbs in this game.
One of only 2 forwards that have crumbs. Who was the other?
Well, White, when we were laughing.
Yeah, glazing him. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Tatum, they do. But go back to what I said after that. They build it, and then they use Rankine and Neil Bullen up the ground, working really hard. And Rochelle is the sole thing it's been built around. So Ashton Moyer, yeah. So this is fascinating that he works really hard as a medium-sized player and he's doing a small person's job. I think there's some merit there. There's some merit there, and I hope he gets the next 4 weeks to really embed his game because he doesn't stop competing.
No, he's going to have fun this week at Optus.
This time last week, there was a couple of them entries just fell in his lap.
Yeah.
This week it didn't. So, yeah, keep going.
5.2. Then we've got Harry Mackay, who returned into the team. I think he missed 4 or 5 games in the end. Took some time to get up with the game, didn't he?
Yeah. The first entry inside 50, like where he spilled the uncontested mark, was fascinating.
Oh yeah, sorry. Just to see, the last time he played was around 11. Didn't realize that's how much football he missed. But yeah,
and I agree with Tatum. It felt like he just got. He felt like he was like the pre-season. It felt like it was the first 5 minutes. Like the first preseason game, like, oh, fuck, I'm back here now. Like, Jesus, I've had 3 weeks in Bali. That was nice. Yeah, it was weird. You know what? There was a couple of players out there this week. Mackay's one of them. Akers another. It reminded me of like a testimonial game in soccer in the UK where they pick their best mates just so they could have one more time with them. And you can tell some of them are horrifically out of shape because it's been 5 years since I played. It felt weird to see Mackay play because it didn't look like he was fully at the full faculties of his powers. This was interesting, though, because the only thing that I really enjoyed about it is they did switch Charlie and Harry around. Yeah. So, last week I said, I'd love to see Charlie work up the ground and Harry stay at home. That happened. So hopefully we see that next week.
You know how they collided into each other? How and why does it happen with the two of them at this point? It's not like they're... I mean, I get it. There was a period of time there where they hadn't played a lot of football together. How is it happening at this point in both of their careers together?
It's either incredible selfishness or incredible stupidity. It's only one of the two. It's communication. It's communication. Because in the first quarter, before I took my seat, I walked around just to go and see someone in the, where's it called? Just by where the cheer squad were. And when that ball came in, I actually heard Gunston scream mine. Yeah. Actually made me jump. Like it was a bellow as well. It wasn't like, it was like a devil. Satan was inside him. Wow. And I was like, fucking hell, Jesus. All right, Jack, mate. Yeah. You've got to communicate. I just think it's like, just they don't think about going mine and they're just like, way, bang. It's annoying because they have played together for a long time. I know they haven't always played together, but they train. They see each other every day.
I remember it happened a few times. I remember when Cass Bolt was playing and it was happening. And I just thought, Cass Bolt, he's just a bit of a clumsy player at times. He just flies for everything. But the fact that it's happening with Harry and Charlie, firstly, I thought it was a head knock from how far away we were from it. So I thought, okay, great. That's going to be a disaster. But Charlie goes up with one hand for starters. Harry goes into a contest without knowing what's happening. And no communication. I don't understand it.
1,000%, I think it is. And I always go back to like my mate who works in the Premier League. He always says the difference between good players and bad players is communication. Because he was like, good players are so confident they communicate. Mm-hmm. He was like, bad players or young players who are nervous are so thinking about shit. I need to be here. I'm on this guy that they can't actually verbalize what they're doing because they're so inside their own head. Yeah. And I would say, without being harsh, 25 and over, you've played a lot of games.
Yeah.
It's probably selfishness. And I don't mean that in the horrible sense. Probably selfishness like you've never been told to. Mm-hmm. So you're not even thinking about it because it's okay because I'll mark it every so often and I'll kick me 60 goals. But the next evolution for these boys is if I'm Charlie and Harry, I'm having that conversation over a beer.
Yeah.
If we can both get fucking 65, mate,
we
can sort a lot of this shit out like ourselves because we're that good. We're that superior to the rest of these 22 clowns that if we're on and working together, we can make this work. So
it's so close. Yeah. Before we trade one of them away, hypothetically, it's like, are we really going to go through an era where we have these two guys in the same team and it not work? Like, really?
Yeah, I mean, these should be the loudest people on the ground, though, in my opinion.
And the most assertive. That's the other thing with Harry as well. Like, where's the want to dominate? Is it just not in? Was he? I feel like he was doing that. I feel like he was launching towards that.
Well, you see it, and like you look at say Adelaide, Riley Thilthorpe in the first quarter absolutely went through Fogarty.
Yeah,
like Fogarty backed into the contest, and Thriller was there, and it fucking knocked him off balance, and you could see he was fuming. And then about 14 minutes later, Jake Saligo danced out of traffic and looked up, and Thilthorpe ran towards him. Jake Saligo kicked to where he thought he was. And you can see Thilthorpe straight away throw his hands up, remonstrating with him, fucking look at me. Right? That's what I want to see from these boys. These boys should be confident enough to go to Cripps. That fucking kick, I don't care, you captain. Dog shit. Dog shit. They should have such a hunger that they're not playing for the Guernsey. They're not playing for each other. They're playing for fame. That's what I always say that in sport. Strikers, key forwards, are allowed to be selfish because you're the big dick energy. I want these guys to be thinking, how am I kicking fucking 100 goals? If I kick 100 goals, you fuckers win that stupid little flag.
Yeah.
And they should be
4.1.
demanding it.
Yeah. 4.1. And then finally.
Say another thing that kills me with Harry. How many times does he run into someone and apologise as well? Harry, just knee some cunt in the back of the head and go, whoops. Don't have to go, are you all right? Just let him just leave him.
Yeah. Charlie, I mean, just quickly, just looking at these heat maps, you can sort of see there was a bit of separation here, apart from that.
Yeah, but the problem is when it goes central, that's where someone should slot in. So I'd like them to maybe look at an Adelaide model or a Brisbane model is a great model. That when Hipwood and Morris lead that way, Dunkley slides in from the midfield. You see it with Adelaide. Adelaide, they go down the quadrants. One goes forward. And who goes into the middle? Little Jordan Dawson. Makes it a right nightmare. So it's all well and good doing this, but you've got to have some end product to it. And at the minute, it's just like they're chasing shadows.
Charlie.
I love Charles, don't get me wrong, but he really frustrates me because, back to what we just talked about there, I haven't seen this year from both of these guys this killer instinct, this want.
Yeah.
And this is probably Charlie's fault because he's won 2 Colemans. He is capable of tearing a game open. He's got that in him. And I seriously do worry about these rumors coming out about him because it's something that I've talked about on this show for ages. There's some pizzazz has been taken out of him.
Yep.
And it doesn't even look this week. He didn't even get super excited when he kicks a goal. One thing I like about Charlie is he'll toe poke one on the goal line and celebrate as if he's roofed one from 78 meters away. It's becoming almost routine. And works so hard.
It's an interesting point. I remember early, I can't remember which game it was early in the season, but it started from there. The celebration wasn't as excited. And I remember thinking, is this just him maturing and getting a better equilibrium with his energy? But I guess as the season's gone on, Jen, the sparkle, he was the spark of energy in this group. He kicks a goal. All right, he's activated. Away he goes. And he had a little moment last week. He kicked the first 2 for early in the game last week. I thought, okay, cool. He's on for the day. And now that I'm thinking about it, he's done it a few times this year where he's kicked a couple early and then hasn't kicked on with it. Maybe with time we'll understand what happened with Charlie in 2025. But he's just, it's been off. It's been surgically. He's been operated on early in the year, and that's obviously impacted him. It's just nowhere near his best.
Watching our forward line and how slow the ball moves in there.
Though, I'm
going to be totally honest. I couldn't think of a more depressing place to be on a football field.
Fair.
Like, it can't be fun.
No, it can't be fun. Can't be fun when you ask for the ball here and the ball goes there.
So I'm hoping, off season enjoys himself a little bit and comes back refreshed and invigorated, and the ball starts to move a little bit.
So, what did you make of him going and seeking out Riley Beveridge? Because he didn't do this 6.0, by the way. What did you make of him seeking out Riley Beveridge for the quote in the AFL.com.au to say, I'm playing at Carlton next year? And that's it. It's done. Like, it wasn't a TV interview. It wasn't a radio interview. It was like specifically targeted. Okay, get this on the record and be done with it. What did you make of it?
I feel people get really... I mean, look, there's rumors go around all the time. Do you know what I mean? So, like,
yeah,
I've never been one to panic when I read a rumor. When I read the Tom Morris thing, it didn't really bother me that much, to be honest, because, like, for the last 8 weeks, all I've heard about is we've got to trade a forward. Which one is it? So I don't care about the validity of it. I found it. I did enjoy the fact that Charlie did it, because I think it might just shut some people up who are a little bit more sinister. Mm-hmm. But I've covered the trade and draft for way too long. The amount of times I've heard a player say, I promise you I'll be here, and then it turned out that was a complete scam 6 weeks ago. Look, I'm sure he's sincere. I'll always take words at face value. Look, I'm sure he'll be there round 1, 2026. But yeah, I don't really buy into that, Terry. No. I mean, so many players have done it. You had Dane Beams do it. Tell us, please. You had Dan Houston say that he wasn't going anywhere, and then 4 weeks later?
How many? Okay, how many on the other end? How many do you remember saying, "Yeah, I'm staying," and they did?
Oh, probably a lot more. I'll be honest. So I always say this: honesty is in the majority, but I don't read into it. It doesn't affect my day, honestly. Charlie's staying or going. I'll still wake up on my left side naked.
Of course. No, of course it doesn't impact your life. I'm just curious about it because it seemed the gravitation seemed to pull more towards believing Morris over Daisy, or which may be fair enough in that regard, or Charlie himself. Now, I'm not saying where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm not saying like that doesn't apply. And I think at the end of the day, if you sat Charlie down and say, what do you want? Do you want to be here, or do you want to ride it out, or do you want to be a bit more free with your lifestyle? And he said, I want to go. Then, okay, sure. Anybody who's not 100% committed to being here should go, I would say. But
amen. I mean, look, I'll give Charlie one compliment on this whole situation. The last thing the club needs at the minute is articles written about it. And that was probably the best bit of leadership I've seen from him. In a long, that was leadership worthy. Making sure you unanimously shut this down before it gains any traction. So credit to you. Yep. Didn't have to do it, but I liked it because it made Tom Morris look funny. And I do find Tom Morris quite an amusing cat.
Can't wait. Fucking round 1.
Yeah, right.
All right. Yeah. Nah. Yeah.
Yeah, genuinely one of the... I mean, look, we keep saying it.
Yeah.
Same areas of concern. Half-back line's not working anywhere near hard enough. There's not enough POD in the midfield. And, yeah, the forwards malnourished.
Oh, well. At least... Well, I guess Farrell was really the shining light of the day.
He was very good, yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about the main rise. The main riser was a guy playing his last game forever. Terrific.
I gave Doc a little bit of a sweet treat. He could have been Will White, in all honesty, but I wanted to give I want you to give Sam Docherty his moment in the sun, because you know what? Just every so often, you fuckers rub off on me with your sentiment nonsense.
Yeah.
So there you are, Sam Docherty. See you, mate. Thank you very much
Yeah.
for your service.
Absolutely. Been a warrior. I think one of the stories that'll be told more as the years go on is the fact that he had the cancer diagnosis and he didn't just come back in 2022. He played every single game in a team that only had 3 players play every single game that season. One of them was Doc, and one of them was actually Charlie Curnow, who had missed previous 2.5 years. So, yeah, it's a miracle.
Look, fair play, mate. Enjoy retirement. Like, honestly, there's much bigger things in life than watching what you eat.
Yeah. The player of the game, the Horizon Finance player of the game, Mr. O'Farrell.
Oh, Farrell. I love a little bit of Farrell. Very, very strong game.
Yeah. And then the Horizon Finance 1% also Harry O'Farrell. Wow.
A debut entrance from the Hawthorn, making his debut on 1%. We've had JSOS, we've had Weitering, we've had Haynes. Hoff has come to play football. So well done, Hoff dog.
Just reading through the comments. He didn't get the rising star. Who did? That's obviously been announced while we're here. AFL rising star. Who was the rising star nominee? Oh, it was Fonte. 14 disposals, 5 intercept possessions. I mean, okay.
Do I hate it?
Like, I get it. They won better.
Like GWS.
Oh, I reckon it was a really good game from O'Farrell. Like, really good.
It was a really good game. Probably it's hard to give kudos to a defender that's got absolutely battered, though, in it.
Okay, fair.
There is some of that. There is optics in the AFL. I mean, I will give Joe Fonte this. If I was making an argument for GWS, you can clip this because it's not often I'm nice about GWS. Send it to a GWS mate of yours. GWS did take fucking Pina Colada off the back line, to be honest. Like even I was touching myself at times the way that GWS were moving the ball.
Fair. Yeah. No, I understand Harry O'Farrell will not win the Rising Star. But no, I thought he had a great one. Anyway, let's move along. We're going to look at some Hawthorn players. You've picked out 3, and we'll see what we can learn from them. The first one was Kaushadea. This is an indictment when a young forward is teaching us a lesson.
This was more of a little bit of a selfish pick here. I could have picked anyone. I could have picked Gunston as well. I wanted to pick Kaushadea because I was huge on Kaushadea in the draft, saying that it was, we always talk about it, father-son, NGA, tax, no one ever bids on them. He just kept sliding down. Very strong. But what I really liked about him is you'll see there, look, where that heat map is centrally, made Carlton stay deep, made Carlton fucking keep their shape. Loved his leading lanes as well. He's very clever. He runs between people, which causes chaos. And yeah, he's a problem, isn't he, this kid? But I really enjoyed him.
Yeah, no, I like him. He scored a 7.2.
I love you. That's brilliant. He does sound like a hyphenated name. You're right, mate.
And then Sicily back into form. Wow. He's everywhere here.
Yeah, he's a fucking problem, this guy, isn't he? Yeah. This was vintage James Sicily. Vintage James Sicily did what he wanted when he wanted, especially when Cowan is so shallow and very poor forward structure. This guy maximizes it. Superb. Intercept possessions like 4 times the recommended dose. Animal. But this is where you see it with him. You really see the impact. You feel the impact of what he uses. He hits the right target. And one positive, though, is the way that Farrell played. Very similar. He's not scared to come off his man. He's not scared to peel off him. So positive signs for the future. James Sicily has built that over 10 years of playing football. Nice to see a young lad have that confidence.
Absolutely. 8.5 for James Sicily. And then finally, you went to Jarman Impey.
One of the most underrated players in league football is Jarman Impey. Like, this guy stands out a mile. I was doing this earlier, and my mate's a Hawks man, and he was like, who are the three you've picked? And like, he took the piss out of Kaushadia, but he understood. James Sicily, he understood. Then Jarman Impey, he was like, oh, weird one, that. And then, like, I checked the coaches' votes just while we were on air. He got 5 coaches' votes. So it doesn't surprise me. This guy was a pain in the ass. And this is what I'm talking about when you look at Carlton's backline and theirs. Jarman, when he gets the ball, attacks the game. The game is gone. When he's won the ball back, he's coming back with interest. There's no fucking about. Works really hard, overlaps, links up with his wingers really well. Constant work rate, a holic. I love Jarman Impey, one of my favourite footballers to watch.
So he is 1 year younger than Adam Saad, right? Is this a reasonable comparison? Can Saad play in this way?
I don't think Adam Saad has ever been as good as intercepting as Jarman Impey, but he can definitely play on that overlap.
Yeah.
Play loose. Like, you look at Jarman, though, what's wonderful about him is he's probably the quickest player you'll ever see, that when the ball is run back, he is bolting into space. He is bolting into space. And you know what's even more important? They actually use him as opposed to everyone else. Like Carlton, if someone's out in space, we're like, oh, that's nice. He's having a little bit of a rest.
Fair.
Love Jar. What a player. What a fucking player.
Well done. And there's your ratings, mate. Another one down.
Dun, dun, dun.
Maybe we can just look at Harry Farrell's rating one last time.
What a footballer he is. Very good little footballer.
Yeah.
Get some attacking halfbacks. That backline, Farrell, Weitering, Dean.
What's your view on Harry Dean?
He's incredible footballer, mate. An incredible footballer.
But like, give him a month in the VFL, 2 months in the VFL, let him develop, or ready to play straight away 20 plus games first year.
It depends how Carlton want to develop him, which is always a worry. But it depends how could he play round one as that third interceptor? 100%. Like, he attacks the ball hard, always hits the ball at the highest point of entry, incredibly clean. So I've seen teams play third interceptors day one, and it's worked pretty well. I like it. I really like it. So I'd be happy for him. In an ideal world, while you've got Nick Haynes there, I think there's a lot of Nick Haynes traits that Harry Dean possesses. Harry Dean is the modern day intercepting tall defender. So I would really like to see us use him for 4 or 5 weeks, go back to VFL, lean on Nick for a little bit of advice, come back. Like, you don't have to wear the guy into the ground, but an incredibly top player. A definite, if he was a free agent, probably would be in the conversation for early top 10s. We're probably going to get lucky. I know everyone is getting really excited and reading power rankings when you're ranked 8th and 9th as where you'll go. That's never the case with father sons. So it'll be a bit like, you'll probably get a little bit of a discount. It'll probably be in that 12 to 14 mark. When you look at the people bidding around that time, there isn't a serial bidder on NGA talent, and it is very rare in this game that we see multiple bids by the same pick. So yeah, we'll be all right. Good player. Yep. Looking forward to it.
Yep. All right. That's us. Thank you very much to Horizon Finance Group, who sponsor this show. Nick, he actually also got you there to the game 2 weeks in a row.
He did, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Eh? All 4 of you got an emotional text as well from me. But yeah, Nick is one of the guys. Yeah, one of the fantastic 4, the Fab 4.
The Fab 4. It was great. Yeah, I got to work on my joy. Hey.
Mate, Fab 4, us lot. It was good. I had a lot of fun. They were good value, mate.
It was.
How easy did the beers go down as well?
Well, I don't really drink at the footy, but yeah, I'm sure they do.
That's part of your problem, man.
That is part of the problem, potentially. Especially now. Now is the time to start drinking beers at the footy, I think.
Well, you shouldn't drink because you're sad. You should be drinking just to enjoy it, to perk up the buzz. But nah, mate, it was good. We haven't got long left, Terry, on this earth, mate. So life's too short. I reckon Essendon game. When's the next home game? Port. Hey, I'll at Port. To be fair, though, you've got to work after because you're an idiot, eh?
Yeah, I get to. I don't got to. I get to. I
turn down big money, lawyer money.
Turn down that lawyer money and talk about Carlton.
Big lawyer money, the big banks.
Yeah.
So you can't really get absolutely blatted, can you?
Although maybe one time just get absolutely ratchet on the fan cams.
I reckon doing that piss would be better for your mental health, to be honest.
You know what? Maybe.
Just get someone else to do it. Hey, look, someone else do fan cams so Terry can have more than a fucking shandy in the first quarter. My favourite is when he gets bad and I start triple, quadruple barking like this week.
Yeah.
Where I've got Let Dog because they have a 2-drink policy and I've got Let Dog to queue up with my card to buy me it so I don't have to keep getting up. Fucking
no, you know what's funny? Start of the game, you're walking into the row where you're sitting. As you get later in the game, you're walking to the next row and then stepping over to get to your seat. You're not asking people to walk through.
Oh, God.
You are you're actually, now that I think of it, you're way more flexible than what I initially guessed.
Yeah, well, little known pom fact, hypermobility syndrome runs in our family. So my little brother suffers from it horrifically. So he couldn't actually physically walk till he was about 4 or 5.
Right. Well, so you can kiss your toes?
Yeah, I can put my ankles behind my head and stuff. I've got stupid Fletcher.
Sorry, I just had an immature.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Hey, look, if anything goes wrong with Mrs. Pom, there is a chance of only Poms. They could make some fucking grouse money there. Mate, for a big lad, look, do you know what I mean? I can move, yeah.
Fair. Well, thanks for putting that all together. Thanks to everyone who tunes in. And we will see you in, about half an hour for the Blue Broad Show. We'll also see you next week. Go Blues.